But if there is an enduring image that will stick with us forever from this moment in American history, from this effort to enact the biggest rollback of voting rights since Jim Crow, it is probably this. These images of a black Georgia state legislator simply knocking on the door of the room where Georgia's governor was signing the bill into law. She was trying to be allowed to witness the bill signing, and she was forcibly handcuffed and hauled away through the state capitol. While on the other side of the door, Georgia's governor was with 6 other white male Republicans signing the voting rights rollback while seated in front of a painting of a slave plantation. The Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney announced yesterday that the arrested legislator, Georgia State Representative Park Cannon, will not be charged with any crime. Prosecutors said in a statement, quote, "While some of Representative Cannon's colleagues and the police officers involved may have found her behavior annoying, such sentiment does not justify the presentment to a grand jury of the allegations in the arrest warrants or any other felony charges." Joining us now for her first interview since that announcement that she will not face charges is Georgia State Representative Park Cannon. She's joined by her attorney, Gerald Griggs. Representative Cannon, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having us this evening. Georgia is on everyone's mind, but this is a national issue.
You know, I wonder if you can just take us through what was in your mind for the whole thing. What were you trying to see, and what was your reaction when they reacted the way they did?
Well, I serve as the caucus secretary, so my first role was to reach out to as many legislators in the Democratic caucus to let them know that the bill was being signed, just like I had been doing all day long when the bill was being debated, when the minority report was happening, when we were sending out information to constituents to let them know. So I wanted to be present in the room to witness what was happening. We look at this as equivalent to taking away the rights of 5 million black and brown Georgians. There needed to be at least one in the room.
And there wasn't, and you were arrested. Were you surprised that they did not pursue those charges against you? Can you just take us through your reaction? Surprised, relieved, the least they could do?
Well, I think that it was incumbent upon the district attorney to review the facts and evidence. She did that. She just recently made a statement indicating that Park Cannon should have never been arrested, and she will be having a conference with those officers. So I think it's incumbent upon everyone to understand this arrest should have never happened.
Tell us more about a conference with those officers.
Well, she indicated on another interview that she believed that they needed more training and that this arrest should have never happened. So she plans on meeting with them sometime in the morning to have a real conversation about the burdens of proof, both for an indictment and an arrest, and ultimately what it would have taken to get a conviction. She believes that those burdens were not present in this case and it should have never been brought.
Representative Cannon, the law's already been signed into law. Obviously, that's what you were there for. You were there to witness that. Since then, Major League Baseball has moved the All-Star game. Corporations have felt the pressure to protest the law. What is your feeling or your sense of whether the law will be rolled back, or do you think it's on the books and here to stay?
Georgia calls itself the #1 place to do business, but it does not call itself the #1 place to vote. And there are a number of other states lining up just like Georgia and doing the same thing. I've been receiving messages and letters from people from across the United States, from Texas to Vermont, who are saying these same pieces of legislation are being pushed through the process in irregular fashions. This irregularity is going to be met with the regular lawsuits, which are already in tow. But what we want people to know is, in Georgia, this is the law. Get to know the law so that we can challenge it, so that we can outvote it, and so that we won't continue to be suppressed by it. I do want to look back on the events that happened that day. They strategically placed themselves under a plantation in South Georgia. So the rest of the country needs to look out too. Where else are these issues popping up, and how can we address them? We can speak up against white privilege and white power to feel like this is their ability or something they can do privately. This is a very public betrayal of the American vote, and we need all of our Americans to stand up and to protect their voting rights.
The president has called this law Jim Crow on steroids. As we mentioned, Major League Baseball moved their game out of Atlanta. Georgia-based companies have come out against it. What more can be done to pressure Republicans there who seem to be pandering to the Trump base to roll that law back?
The job is not yet done. The federal government still has a role to play in this with H.R. 1. The Georgians here, we understand why something named the John Lewis Voting Rights Act is important, because we have these memories etched in our brains about his sacrifices to vote. But we're not here just to speak. We need action from our federal government. We've heard the Department of Justice is interested in what is happening here, and we need for local election boards to pay attention to what the state election boards are doing. Senate Bill 202 allows for the state to take over local election boards and replace them with one individual. This is a call for action in Georgia, and we're going to keep knocking.
You're absolutely right to single that out. I mean, that is the one that keeps me up at night. Imagine if they'd been able to remove even the Republican officials who counted and recounted and found no fraud. Georgia State Representative Park Kennon, Attorney Gerald Griggs, thank you both so much for joining us tonight. It's wonderful to get to talk to you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.